Greetings, everybody. Dr. Marcus Robinson here, your integrative wellness coach, and I'm here to talk with you about the value of functional nutrition. And I want to specifically kind of zero in on what I'm calling phytonutrients. And these are your plant-based nutrients that when you get them in heaping quantities and get them focused in concert together, they can actually activate your natural healing processes in a way that the kind of food and meals we normally prepare ourselves just really can't. So the number one thing I want to talk to you about is this business about phytonutrients, which come from vegetables and various herbs. And what they do is they help with activating two very important principles in your body for healing. These are your SIRT or sirtuin enzymes, which are responsible for your cytoplasmic cleanup. It's like what's going on inside of your cells and in and around your cells. These compounds are here to help your body heal and repair itself. And you get that from a combination of what I'm calling polyphenols, which are your dark colored vegetables and fruit. The darker the better. They say the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. And I'm here to testify that that's really true when it comes to activating your body's healing processes. So foods like blackberries, blueberries, acai berries, even avocados, all your green leafies, vegetables, all other stuff that's got deep color. Don't just eat potatoes, eat deep purple potatoes, those Japanese potatoes, or even yams, which are kind of oranges in color. Don't just have onions, have the red onions with all that quercetin. An interesting thing, if it's purple, it's got quercetin. If it's yellow, it's got curcumin. How about that? So all that yellow colored food, yes. You need the curcumins, the quercetin, and the grapes. Oh my God, the resveratrol inside of grapes. All these chemicals, these molecules activate your sirtuin enzymes that do all that do all the cleanup work. And more importantly than that, as if that wasn't enough, there is a gene in your DNA that is the key to the lock on the storage unit that has every cellular repair and healing mechanism behind that door. And if you want to unlock that door, then you want to activate your NRF2 gene expression. Free it up so that they can re-enter the cellular nucleus and activate these healing properties. And that comes from phytonutrients. These again, your vegetables, your dark vegetables, colorful, leafy fruits, even tomatoes, man. That tomatoes, which is the Swiss Army knife of food. You can put it with anything, it's gonna make it a little bit better. But that red dye, that red pigmentation, that's got all the good stuff in it. So that's what we want to be doing. We want to be eating as much leafy, colorful vegetables as possible. Now, here's the bad news. No matter what you ate today, if you take the total nutrient content of the food that's being provided to us today, and by commercial farming practices, it's roughly 1/3 the nutrient value of food that your parents got and that my parents got. Even when I was a child, 50 years ago, food was 3 times more nutritious than it is today. And we wonder why people are obese. Why? Because they're eating all of this substance trying to get that little bit of nutrient. Okay, so that's why I say you just can't eat a good diet. You just can't be have this perfected diet. You have to supplement. You have to supplement with nutraceuticals, and I get my nutraceuticals from Optimal Health Systems. And the reason why I do that is because all of the nutraceuticals are made from food. They're not made from chemicals and chemistry in a lab. It's real food that's been dried, concentrated, and then reformulated in its proper ratios in order to activate your SIRT3, SRRT1, SRR2ins, all of them, and your NRF2 gene expression, which is the source of your health and vitality. Why is that important? When you combine that with a nutrient, a molecule called NAD, could be NADH or its oxidative side, NAD plus. You get a balance of NAD plus and NADH in your body, and it sets the level of how much energy you can experience, create, and retain. So now here's the bad news about NAD. Now, you come with the body's ability to generate enough of that right up until you get into your full maturity. Certainly when you hit your 30s, you start losing your ability to make enough of NAD. Now, here's the issue. You lose about 1% a year. So when you hit 50, you're now 80%. Of the total amount you had growing up as a child. Is the reason why they say youth is wasted on the young. What it truly is saying, the production of NAD is best when you're young, and it lags when you get old. In fact, getting older may be directly correlated to the level of NAD in your body. Now watch this. You hit 50, you're 20% low. You hit 60, you're 30% low. You hit 70, you're 40% low. You hit 80, you're 80% low. Now watch that. That's a lot low. So if you're not supplementing your NAD plus with intravenous IVs or intramuscular shots in your arm or your butt, or by taking precursors, the NMN or the NR precursors of NAD. I know you don't know a bunch about this stuff. It's probably brand new to you. Listen to this thing a couple times. Read my articles that I'll attach to this video, so that you can get the lowdown, get the deep dive, get the detail on what you must do in order to keep your NAD levels high enough in order to make use of your sirtuin activations and your gene expressions that is calling for your health and healing. And if you do that, I must remind you that this thing we call a human body was made, was intelligently designed to repair and heal and regenerate itself. And all you need to do is make sure that you've got a high level of NAD, a body full of electrons and electrics, because you're actively engaged and involved and out in the sun and taking in the Schumann resonance of electromagnetic energy from the earth, and you're eating good and you're eating clean and you are supplementing targetedly, not just taking supplements indiscriminately. I'm gonna take some peptides, or I'm gonna take some vitamins, or I'm gonna get me some of this muscle building stuff, proteins or whatever. No. You want to have a targeted, focused approach with your nutrition and your nutraceuticals to activate your body's healing processes. Why is this important? Because the one thing you can be certain of is that aging is the precursor to disease, and disease left unchecked is the precursor to death. Now, can you see how that works? So aging is the precursor to disease. And how do we get there? Aging is the cellular dysfunction of mitochondria who does not have enough sirtuin support, or the cell's DNA is not expressing enough NRF2. That's it. And when that happens, you get inflamed. You get cellular inflammation. And cellular inflammation becomes chronic. The cells get sick. When they get sick, your tissues get sick. When your tissues get sick, your organs get sick. When your organs get sick, you get sick. And when you get sick and don't check that, by activating your sirtuins and your NRF2 gene expression, well, then you are facing a life-limiting challenge at that point. So why am I saying all of this? Because, I'm the coach that's all about anti-aging. What is anti-aging? Anti-aging is about disease onset delay. Let me say that again. Anti-aging is about delaying the onset of disease. Why? Because disease is the precursor to what? Life-limiting challenge and death, right? So if you can delay the onset, well, then you're delaying the end result as well. Can you hear that? That's anti-aging. Now, anti-aging also is about getting at the core of this thing. Now, what's at the core? We talked about that, getting the right nutrients, and so that your cells can work. We talked about getting that NAD molecule in there so that it can do it. It needs to do in order to work with your mitochondria in order to generate the life energy you call ATP, that when you smile and light up, all we're seeing is the explosions, nuclear fusion explosions of your energy just pouring right through your cell walls, right? Now, how is that? How is that so? Well, how is that so? Is that you get the starter, the lighter, the match that lights that flame is the electron flow from the earth. It's the electromagnetic energy that you receive from the sun, the moon, and the earth, and it's in the way in which it is situated in our universe. It's an amazing thing that we find ourselves here on this planet alive, on this live planet as an expression of its life. Can you hear that? We are alive on this planet because this planet is alive and we are its exponent. We are the living expression of a living planet from a conscious universe that was manifested here. This is not just any old place. Ask all of your astrophysicists and anybody else that's a science buff. Where y'all find some place like this? Any place else like this in the universe that we can find? Heck no. We surmise. Our math tells us that there must be millions of them out there, but none of them close to us, not in this neighborhood. And so why am I saying all of this? So that you can first of all, appreciate your predicament. You are a bioelectric being that is born of a bioelectric planet. The planet gives life. In fact, you can't even sustain your life without eating the planet. What is that? Eating food. You can't sustain your life without drinking the planet. What's that? Drinking water. You can't survive 2 minutes without breathing her air. What is that? Taking in her oxygen. Oh my God, if you didn't have the electromagnetism that comes from the earth spinning and the core of the earth doing what it does and the moon and the stars and the sun doing what it does, if you didn't have that, you would not survive. In fact, ask the NASA scientists and the Russian scientists all about what happens before they discovered they needed this, when they sent astronauts up to the moon and in the orbits, those long stays. Without the electromagnetism that you get on the earth, your body degrades. Your body degrades. Your mind degrades. Your cells degrade. You degrade. It's not a healthy thing. In fact, if you look at some of those older videos of the astronauts returning from space, they're virtually holding those people up. So in order, because their bodies have degraded so much because of the lack of electromagnetism that is part of the earth. That's the point. So you need all of this, and so let me go back to my first point. Phytonutrients are the raw materials that your body needs in order to activate your sirtuins and NRF2 gene expression, so that it can eradicate any of the bugs. You got all the parasites and all that kind of stuff. All of the hitchhikers that are going on in your microbiome. They're not just hitchhikers. These critters are actually doing stuff. They're helping you and I really we're helping you and I live better. So so what you want to be doing is getting your phytonutrients, that's the earth, getting your electromagnetism, that's that fifth element of life, getting the good water, that and the electricity and the water, the electrons and the water go together to structure the water in your body in a particular way. That's something else to talk about. I'll come back to that in another talk. But the structure of the water in your cells determines the quality of life of that cell. And the structure of the cell walls determine the amount of power stored by the cell in order to help your mitochondria produce that ATP that produces the life energy that you call you, that keeps your organism alive. And it all begins right now with you. And at this point is getting the right nutrition and the right nutrition supplement.